Hello friends and welcome to this special section on quarterly earnings play. Friends, we've seen in the past that quarterly results present excellent opportunity for traders as there are wild swings in the individual stocks depending upon what the consensus expectations were and what the actual numbers are. And with start of this season, we have seen that Infosys actually gave an excellent opportunity for traders, and actual numbers were way below expectations, particularly the guidance, and the stock was down almost 12%. So if you combine the consensus expectations and the technicals, you can actually navigate this entire result season very nicely. And to do that, we have actually decided to roll out this special section where we will be covering the companies which are going to announce the numbers for a particular week. We will give you a consensus expectations, and we would also give you important technical levels and how to actually capture this movement. So hope this exercise would be useful to all of you. Here is a fundamental update on the Reliance quarterly numbers. Friends, Reliance is likely to announce the numbers on 20th of April. And the key expectations are that the crude price during this quarter has actually gone up by 9%, which would reflect on the realization of the business of the company. However, Singapore gross refining margins have actually come down, and we estimate gross refining margins for Reliance to be around 6.5 barrels per dollar as against 6.8 barrels in the Q3. So there is going to be a sequential drop in the GRMs, which is an important indicator that most of the analysts are tracking. And on the other hand, we have also seen a steady decline in the gas production from KG-D6 basin. So because of this volume drop, again, there is going to be some kind of a disappointment, and we would really look for some kind of a clarity about how the production ramp up is going to happen. Also friends, what is important to note is that in the last 8 results announcements, at least 6 times the company has disappointed the consensus expectations and the numbers were below it. So if the company announces numbers which are slightly better than the expectations, then we might see some positive reaction to it. Broadly, the numbers that we expect are like this. On the top line front, we are looking at about 20% kind of a growth to about 87,467 crore. And at the net profit level, we are looking at a number of about 4,041 crore, which would mean that there is a quarter-on-quarter drop of almost 25%. So market is already expecting a weak set of numbers from Reliance. Only thing which is helping the stock is the buyback announcement, and because of that we have seen some kind of a stability around 745 odd levels, but overall street has slightly negative bias towards this stock.
After having looked at the fundamental aspect, I'll just get you through some of the technicals. Now, first of all, playing results is difficult, but at the same time it is very rewarding. Difficult because as soon as the results are announced, there are wild gyrations in the stock prices, so it becomes difficult how to exactly time our entry and what side to take, what position to take, whether to go long or whether to go short. So there is a lot of confusion, as well as there is some bombardment from the news media about the result expectations. So at this time, if you have ready some technical levels, then it is always very handy for you, because then the emotions are out of your play, and you can actually play the stock according to your technical levels. So what we have done is we have kept the things very simple. We have given you 2 to 3 support levels, 3 resistance levels, probable entry point for you, and also looking at the fact that, as we have seen in the past quarterly numbers many times, certain stocks like Reliance, Kin India, they have a tendency to gyrate wildly on the result day. So how to play the stocks which move around 7 to 8% up and down? So to take care of that, we have also come up with a special wild swing trade stop loss and target. So in case a particular stock comes down around 8%, so whenever a stock is down by around 8%, there is always an opportunity. If it after coming down, it bounces back 2 to 3%, and you want to play, and if you want to play that 2 to 3%, then you can always do that with this wild swing trade which we have given. The first stock is Reliance. Reliance Industries. The current market price is around 748. The 8 days moving average we have taken. It comes at around 744 to 744.7, approximately 744 to 745 levels. The first support for the stock is 726 and the second support is at around 705. The resistance comes at 772 and the second resistance is coming at 798. So the trade could be simple. As soon as the results are announced, and if the stock is trading in between 735 to 740, you can straight away consider going long on the stock. Keep a stop loss of 15 rupees at 726 and have a target of 772 to 798. So it's a pretty good risk to reward trade also. Now, in case another scenario which I just discussed with you, if there is a wild swing, if there are some wild swings when the results are announced, actually, if the stock is down around 7 to 8% or up around 6 to 7%, then the support and resistance which you could look at are 685 to 690 levels, and the resistance point is 798 to 802 odd levels. The meaning of this is, in case the stock comes down to around the levels of 685 to 695, in between that range, then you can straight away consider going long on that stock with a probable stop loss of 680. And in case it goes up after the results and it goes near 800 odd levels, then avoid going long on that stock, because that is probable resistance of Reliance Industries. So that was in a nutshell about Reliance Industries.
Another important company which will be announcing the numbers in the oil and gas space is Cain India. The results will be announced on 20th of April. The broad numbers that we are looking at are like this. Top line, we are looking at about 3,581 crore, which means a 2% kind of a negative growth. And on the net profit front, we are looking at a number of 573 crore, which means a 3% kind of a cut. The important monitorable that we would be looking out for is 136 kbpd of production from the Rajasthan gas field against Q4 number of 125 kbpd. So if there is going to be a growth of more than 136 kbpd, then there is going to be some kind of a positive reaction. Also, friends, what is most important for Cain India is the outlook on the crude oil price, and we have seen that the crude oil price has moved up from about 105 odd levels to 125, and in the last few days there is a correction to about 118 to 120 dollars per barrel. Overall, buyers on the crude oil price is positive, which is a big positive for Cain India. And also, company has a tendency to outperform the consensus expectations, which is reflected in the way last 8 quarterly numbers that the company has announced. The actual performance has been better 5 times. So there is some kind of a positive bias on Cain India.
The second script which we are discussing is Cain India. The parameters remains the same. The 8-day simple moving average is placed at 344.7. The current price is around 344. The first support for the stock is 336 and the second is 323. The overall setup is looking good on charts. So in case the results are probably in line with expectation or even exceed expectations, and then look going long in Cain India above the levels of 340 to 345, have a stop loss of 336 and target of 360 to 380. And again, as I discussed, for a wild swing trade, if there is a big move in the stock, then go long in the stock at around, if it comes down, go long at around 323 to 325 odd levels, with a stop loss of 305 and a target of 380. So I will just repeat, for a wild swing, if there is a wild swing in the stock, the support is at 305 and the resistance as 380. Another argument to back up the Cain India is the weekly charts of crude are looking very good. In Indian rupee terms, what we have seen is crude is forming a probable flag pattern on weekly charts. So after a nice rally, it has been consolidating in the range of 5200 to 5500. So probably a flag is a pattern which is a bullish pattern, and after the breakout, we could really see a big move in the stock. If this actually happens, then it is very, very positive for Cain India.
We would like to share our views on IT sector and HCL technology. First of all, I would like to say how the result season is going to come and how the results of the top 4 IT companies are going to be there. We are likely to see that top 4 IT companies are going to post flattish sequential growth in revenues. In terms of profits, the top 4 IT companies are on an average going to post 0.1 to negative 2.4% sequential growth in profits. So among these, HCL Tech is the company which is going to post relatively better profits on sequential basis of 0.1%. So we like HCL Technologies. What we are seeing in HCL Technologies, since last continuous 8 quarters, HCL has consistently beaten on 6 out of 8 times on top line front and all the 8 times on the bottom line front. What we are seeing, HCL Tech is continuously seeing large deal wins. Over last 6 months, it has seen 1 billion deal wins, and on global front, there is a lot of vendor consolidation happening. So because of this vendor consolidation exercise, HCL is gaining traction and is gaining large deal wins. So we continue to see HCL continue to get larger deals over coming quarters. So and it is also available at a very cheap discount of 20 to 30% compared to Infosys and TCS. So HCL is placed very nicely among the top 4 IT players, and it is a very strong candidate for going on long side. Also to add, we can say that it is seeing good momentum on the infrastructure management space, which is not affected by the current slowdown, which is more affected in the BFSI space. So because of all these reasons, we like HCL Technologies with a price target of 523. At current market price, HCL is trading at 12.3 times its estimated FY 2013 earnings. Thanks.
We have seen that IT charts overall are not looking very good. For example, Infosys chart has been disturbed very badly on daily as well as weekly charts, weekly time frame. TCS is also not that good. However, if I see HCL Tech, it is showing some sort of strength among all the IT companies. Current price is around 485. The 8-day simple moving average is at around 488 odd levels. So the trade could be you could go along at around 475 to 478 levels. Have a stop loss of 465 and a target of 496 to 511. Again, very good risk to reward. I'll repeat the levels for you. First support is around 461, second is around 468. The resistance is placed at 496 and 510. Again, if there is a wild gyration in the stock on the result day, then the support is 428 and the resistance is 522. That is, if stock comes down heavily on the result day, like did Infosys, then somewhere around 422, 425 levels, remember that there is a demand zone for the stock. So don't go and short the stock at that level. Probably you can consider going long with a small stop loss. At the same time, if the results are good and the stock runs up, so at 520 to 525 levels, remember that there is a strong resistance for the stock. So in between this range, you can definitely look at playing the stock.
Now that the RBI has come out with its monetary policy and it has cut around 50 basis point repo rate cut, which is positive for all the banks, but overall market still remains in this range bound. So let's focus on some specific banks which are likely to come out with the results. The first is the HDFC Bank, which is likely to declare the results tomorrow, that is on 18th of April, and the other one is IndusInd Bank, which is likely to come out with the result on 19th of April. Now, overall, both being the private banks overall are likely to post revenue growth, earnings growth of around 22%. And in case of HDFC Bank, what we are expecting is that the PAT is likely to grow by around 30% plus to around 1,459 crores. Friends, as you all know, HDFC Bank has been a consistent performer, and since the last 48 quarters, it has given a consistent performance in its overall results. Also, the overall asset quality is likely to remain stable for the bank. Also to note is that one thing important to note is that the overall 8 results that the company has come out with, for the 6 times the company has announced better than expected results. So this time also we can expect some good results to come out by HDFC Bank. We will have a technical check on that. The other company which is likely to post result is IndusInd Bank on 19th of April. Also, we are expecting the company to come out with a consistent and decent performance in this quarter. Although the stock's valuations remain one of the concerns because it's quoting at a premium as compared to all the other private banks, but in terms of the overall results, we are expecting some positive surprises from this company. The loan growth is likely to grow at around 30% plus. We are expecting a PAT of around 25% to around 216 crores for the company. And we are not expecting any major negative surprises. Also, the credit costs are likely to stay under control for the company. Other important point to note is that for the last 8 results which the company has announced with, 7 times the IndusInd Bank has come out with results which are better than expectations.
Let's have a technical check on some of the banking stocks which are likely to announce results in coming week. First is HDFC Bank. We have seen that HDFC Bank numbers have always been better than the street expectations on many fronts. So let's have a technical check. On the technical front also, it is looking very strong. One can look to initiate a long around 534 levels. It should be a good entry point, 534, with the stop loss being kept at 515. That is the first support level, and second support levels could be seen at 496, whereas resistance 1 could be seen at 547 and resistance 2 could be seen at 561. Friends, we have also seen that we are likely to witness wild swing in some of the stocks when the results are announced, and it can be a good bet that if we get a stock at a discount or a 10-15% kind of a downfall after that, it can be a good bet. So we'll also give a wild swing support level which is at 436 for HDFC Bank and resistance at 561. What one can do is look to buy near 444 and 450 range for HDFC Bank with a target at 515, and stop loss can be kept at 436. So the risk reward is very favorable after we have a wild swing in a particular stock. So 444, 450 could be a good buying range, and with a stop loss at 436 for a target of 515 in HDFC Bank. Now moving on to the next stock, it's IndusInd Bank, which is to be announcing its results in this week. The key support level, that is the first support level, is at 332, and the next support level, that is S2, is at 319. Resistance 1 could be seen at 362, and whereas resistance 2 could be seen at 375. The 8 days moving average for the stock is around 332.4. So once it crosses around 342 levels, or it sustains on that level, one can look to buy with a stop loss at 332 for a target of 362 and 375 in IndusInd Bank. On the wild swing which we are discussing, wild swing support could be kept at 307 and resistance could be seen at 522. So a buying opportunity could be around 319 levels with a stop loss at 307 for a target of 360 and 375 in IndusInd Bank.
To the cement sector update and the quarterly earnings on the cement sector. Cement sector is poised to do good on the YOY basis. Also on the EBITDA per ton, the cement companies would be doing fairly well this year, this quarter also, because of the higher volumes and better pricing. Also on the stock front, we will go for ACC and Ambuja. On the stock front, on the ACC, PAT expected on the ACC is about 12.8% YOY basis, and on the Ambuja cement 9.8% is the PAT that is expected. The results announcement date would be on the 19th of April. Key risk remain the input cost pressure that arises from the power and fuel cost and also the freight charges. Or else also the emphasis is focused on the infrastructure, so cement sector would be doing good henceforward going on the next quarterly basis. And others, out of the last 8 announcement on the ACC, ACC has given 4 times better than estimated earnings. So this time also we are more or less neutral on the stock. Out on the Ambuja front, out of the last 6 announcement, 4 times the Ambuja has beaten the street's estimate. So more or less this time also we are expecting Ambuja to post better numbers.
Let's now have a technical check on some of the cement stocks which are likely to announce results in coming weeks. First is ACC. ACC support 1 could be seen at 1205, support 2 could be seen at 1175. Resistance 1 could be seen at 1279 and resistance 2 could be seen at 1340. Resistance 1 is near the 8 days moving average which is at 1279. One can initiate a long around 1220, 1230 odd levels with a stop loss at 1205 for a target of 1280 and 1340. In case if the companies are announcing its results and it is likely to give a better than street expectations results or a phenomenal performance, or it can give a below street expectations or a worse performance, at that time we can have wild swings in the stock, and one can look to there are supports, lower supports at 1098 for ACC, while swing support for ACC could be seen at 1098. So a long opportunity could be in the range of 1120, 1140 with a stop loss at 1098 for a target of 1390 in ACC. The next stock is Ambuja Cement, which is to be announcing its results this week. The support 1 could be seen at 156, support 2 could be seen at 153.5. Resistance 1 is at 166, which is near the 8 days moving average, which is at 165, and resistance 2 could be seen at 175. The trading bet could be long at 158 with a stop loss at 153, target of 166 and 175 for Ambuja Cement, whereas wild swing supports for the stock can be seen at 143.5 and resistance at 181. So a good bet would be around 148, 150 levels. It's a good buy if it presents with an opportunity with a stop loss at 143.5 for a target of 166 and 175.